All right, good morning. It is Monday, May 4th, 2020, and welcome to another episode of Monday Mornings with Matt. Looks like we've got the Olins here already. Awesome, from my favorite Yankee fans. I think that's probably true. I think you are my favorite Yankee fans. All right, so it's a beautiful Monday morning here in Maine where I live. I hope it is nice wherever you are. Hope you have your paper and your pencils ready. I've got mine. Got my pencils, got my pad of paper here. Here's the plan for today. We are going to draw a dolphin. And this was the request of Sophia, who I see is already here this morning. So that is awesome. It's funny, when I started doing this, I was originally thinking I would just draw stuff from my books. Like the first week I have a few of my books here. I drew Red from Red and Lulu, and then I drew Dasher from Dasher, and then I drew a baseball player because I have a bunch of baseball books, like Growing Up Pedro here. But then I started just taking requests, and it seems like so far almost all the requests have been animals. And it's actually, I'm finding I really do love drawing animals. It's fun. And I was thinking about how when I was a kid, I loved watching this show called Drawing with Captain Bob. I think it might have been Nature World with Captain Bob. It was on a Boston channel, I think Channel 5, on weekend mornings. I loved getting up early and drawing with Captain Bob. And I was thinking how it's kind of cool. That's sort of what I'm doing now, where I draw and you guys can draw along. I actually found a picture that I drew with Captain Bob there. It's a starfish with some other creatures in the background. And he mostly drew a lot of underwater creatures, a lot of animals. It was all from nature. So it's kind of cool. That's sort of what we're doing here. So yeah, we'll draw, and then I'll show some of the artwork that people sent me this week. And then if you guys have any questions, I'll answer your questions. And that's about it. And good morning to Josh in Winchester. I love seeing a lot of the same people joining me every week. And Melissa and Scott Magoon. Hey, Scott. Scott, a fellow Captain Bob viewer. I still have a few of my Captain Bob drawings here. All right, so I guess I will get started. I'll go to my split screen here. Got my drawing pad. So just like every other drawing, like I've said before, my best drawing advice I can give you is when you're starting a picture, don't get stressed out about the details. Start with simple shapes. So I'm actually going to start with the same shape, drawing a dolphin, as I started with when I drew a reindeer and a bird and all the other animals that I've drawn. I'm going to start with an oval. So I'm going to make my dolphin jumping out of the water because that's a cool thing that dolphins can do. So I'm going to, and like I said last week, sometimes when I draw something, it really helps me to have a reference photo or to, if I have a model, like I have a few model reindeer that I used when I was working on Dasher, just to look at the real thing to help me, just instead of just remembering what it looks like. So I have a picture of a dolphin that's helping me here. So I'm going to start with, it's a little tricky. I'm going to start with an oval, but I'm going to make it a little curved. So there's kind of like almost like a bean shape. It's kind of like a curved oval. It doesn't have to be exactly like this one. This is sort of just to get me started. And also, just like with the other things that I've been drawing, I'm not going to push down really hard for these first marks. Trying to make sure I can see the comments over here. Do dolphins have spatulas? Asking for a friend. That's a really good question, Jim. I'm hoping my friend Ryan Higgins logs on here at some point because he knows a lot about animals. And I bet he knows if dolphins have spatulas. They probably do, right? It seems like most animals, from what I've learned so far, have spatulas. Like penguins and all kinds of animals. If you haven't watched the other weeks, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you can check those out. So we've got this oval. I'm gonna add on to it. So let's make the dolphin's tail. So from this end, we'll make it sort of come down. I'm going to make the dolphin sort of curving, like they're just this big rainbow shape coming out of the water. So I'm going to make it come to a sort of like a triangle, but it's curved down that end. And then on this end, I'll just extend that oval shape a little bit. Sort of an extra little curvy oval shape. It's not quite some of the other animals I'll do an oval for the body and then a circle for the head, but the dolphin is sort of just one continuous shape. So it's like a big comma. Hi to Becky in Texas. It's so cool that we're all in different places and we can all draw a dolphin together. So that's basically the shape of the body. This is kind of a simpler drawing, I think, than like the tiger last week. We had all these little details and stripes and everything. I think the dolphin might be a sort of a quicker drawing. So at this point, it looks kind of like a fish. Or a giant comma. I don't know. Let's add some details. Here's the tail. The tail shape, it's sort of like a triangle coming this way and a triangle going that way. And I'm making them a little curvy. And I'll go back over this stuff too, and I've heard it called locking it in, when you go over with darker lines once you're really sure that they're in the right place. I'll do the same thing here for the, I don't know if it's called the nose. Maybe that's the spatula. I'm not sure. That could be the nose of the dolphin. We really need Ryan Higgins to chime in here with his animal expertise. But if anyone knows these different, if we have any dolphin experts here, let me know. I assume like they've got flippers, fins maybe. It's got to be flippers. So we've got that. I'm kind of first going over just the basic parts, and then I'll go back over. So this has to be the fin. Dorsal fin, that sounds right. It's kind of shaped like a wave, which is pretty cool. Right on the dolphin's back there. It's another triangle. Don't they have bottles for noses? Asks Scott Magoon. They might. I've never been up close to a dolphin. Let's see. And now on the side here, I'm going to make what I have to believe are the flippers. This one is kind of a triangle going back, and the other one we can see better because it's sort of, you can kind of see the silhouette of it reaching down there. Probably the first time I've drawn a dolphin since my Captain Bob days. I'm sure I drew a dolphin or two back then. So now it's starting to come together. Now let's carve into it some more. The dolphin's mouth kind of goes back like this. Let's make it look, sometimes they look like they're smiling. They seem like happy animals. So I'll make a line right in the middle of the nose there. Dave Lieber. Nice to see you there, David. It's a friend from college. Will you personalize my cake? I'm not sure I can do that. If it's a dolphin cake. And now the dolphin's eyes are sort of like the mouth goes back, and at the end of that line, there's the eye kind of back there, maybe. Just make like a little oval. Like I said, it's kind of the nice thing about drawing animals is there's room for error. No one's going to look at it and be like, that eye's a little bit off. But if it was a person, you'd notice if I put the eyes in the wrong place. But the dolphin, I can kind of just have a little more fun with it and not worry about it being exactly perfect. There might be some dolphin experts who would notice, but most people wouldn't. I found that when I was working on like Red and Lulu, which was my first book where the characters were animals, it was kind of like a little freeing, where I could just draw the characters and be a little more creative about it and not worry about everything being exactly the same in every picture. And it was actually a lot of fun. Now I'm going over, like, I feel like this tail shape is pretty good. I'm looking at my reference photo to get little details, like it kind of comes down the very tip there, it curves down a bit. Same thing on this side. Dolphins look very strong. Like the tail, it's not just a triangle like it's just withering away. It sort of like has its own shape to it. Like you can almost see a muscle back there. So I'll kind of add a little bit of a shape for that. And just go over this line a little bit. Now if you want, we can do a little shading. I'm going to figure this is a sunny day where maybe the sun is up in the sky. So I'm going to make the shadow, here I'll darken this shape a little bit. I'll make the shadow towards the bottom of the dolphin. So for this, like I've shown you before, I'm using the same pencil that I used to make the straight lines, but I'm going to kind of tilt it at a bit more of an angle. And this is a pretty soft drawing pencil. A little trickier if it's like a number 2 pencil, but you can do that. You can do this with that too. And for this, I'm just gonna, like this fin is gonna be totally in shadow, so it's darker. And you can do this, you can shade this or not. And just by shading along the bottom, it hopefully will make the form of the animal look more three-dimensional. You know, we're just if I just did it all with a flat color, it looks more flat. But just with a little shade along the bottom edge, I can make it look more 3D. And now, like this flipper here is catching more of the light because it's facing directly up. So I'm going to make that, keep that white, which the paper comes that way, so just leave it alone. Now I think this will be mostly in shadow too, so I'm going to shade in the tail. And if I'm going too fast, hopefully I'm not, but you can always go back and watch the video later, and you can press pause and go at your own speed, and just let me know if I'm going too fast too. You can just put something in the comments. And if you think of any questions as we're drawing, either about drawing or writing or making books or anything like that, just write them in the comments and I will check after we draw and I can answer your questions. So there, I think that's looking pretty good. Now let's draw a little bit of this dolphin's environment. I want to make it clear that the dolphin is jumping out of the water. So I'm going to make, I'll make a line. This will be like the horizon line. And I want to make it clear that it's in the distance. So I'm going to put it behind the dolphin's tail just a little bit. And this is just a kind of a light line in the distance. And then I want to show that the dolphin jumped out of the water up close to us. So maybe I'll make some splashes. And this you can kind of just have fun and make kind of crazy splashy shapes coming out from the spot where, you know, maybe the dolphin just jumped out of the water. It's kind of tricky, I guess, but you can decide how you want to do that. But it kind of shows you sort of what it looks like if something big jumps out of the water. And maybe there are waves. I'm just making this up as I go, but and show different shapes that look like the ocean. And like anything, when something's up close, it looks bigger. When it's farther away, it looks smaller. So for these wave shapes, like right up front, maybe you'll see a big kind of shape sweeping right across the page. And then as they get further away, they can be smaller. So that's something you can do to make it look almost three-dimensional, like there is space. Maybe we should add something in the distance too, like maybe there's a boat on the horizon, and that's really far away. Like the horizon is that line, like if you look out at the ocean, you see it's almost like it ends, but it doesn't. It's just because the earth is curved, but that's called the horizon. So I'm going to make a boat way out there. And the boat is far away, so it's going to be small on the page compared to our dolphin, which is right up close. Maybe I'll make it like a pirate ship. You can make your boat look however you want. Or you can make something else in the distance if you want. Maybe there's like another fish jumping out of the water, or an island, or who knows? Maybe there's an airplane in the sky. I feel like we need stuff in the sky. Speaking of that, so maybe some clouds. And I'll make some clouds kind of disappear behind the dolphin, just to make it clear he's up close and these shapes are far away. Sounds like there are turkeys outside as you guys are drawing. Saw a comment here from Harumi. That's interesting. Maybe you could tell them to stand still and you can draw some turkeys, or take pictures. That might work better. All right, we've got a dolphin, we've got the background. And now, just like every week, if you want to use this almost as a coloring page, you can color it in. You can, maybe it's a bright sunny day and the dolphin's out in the sunshine, or maybe it's even nighttime. You can be creative with that. When you guys have been sending me your drawings, I always love to see people add little details and kind of make their own story out of it, which is really cool to see. All right, I think I will stop there with the dolphin. Oh, I gotta sign my name, right? Always sign your work at the end. Then everyone knows who made it. And especially if you're a kid and you're drawing right now, it's cool to look back later, because if you, like 3 or 4 years from now, if you look back at what you drew today, you'll realize you've probably gotten a lot better. I think it's cool to look at things that I drew when I was 7 or 8 years old and realize that sometimes you don't notice it, but as you keep drawing, you keep getting better at it. So I'll sign my name, the date. All right. I'm going to show some of the work that people have sent me. Just got a few this week. This one is by Sophia, who is a Monday Mornings with Matt super fan. I think she's been here every week. So thank you, Sophia. That is an awesome tiger. I love, like I was saying, all the details kids are adding. We've got the sun. The sun has glasses. It's really cool to see that stuff. I also got some penguins in this week. The nice thing is all the videos are on my website, tavaresbooks.com, or on Facebook. If you just go to my Facebook page, all the live videos are saved there. So you can go back to previous weeks and you can always draw along with the other drawings that we've done. So here's a very nice penguin. We have some more penguin art. That is an awesome background. I love seeing all the creative ways you guys are doing these. There's another nice drawing. Excellent work, guys. All right, one thing I wanted to remember to mention this week. I've a few weeks I've worn bookstore t-shirts, and I keep forgetting to say anything about them, but this week I'm wearing my Lark and Owl Booksellers t-shirt. They are located in Georgetown, Texas. It's a really nice bookstore that I visited. I had a book signing there when I was on tour last fall for my book Dasher. And I just wanted to mention, if anyone is buying books these days, it's a really good time to try to support your local independent bookstore if you can. I know a lot of businesses are struggling right now. Bookstores are no exception to that. So if you're looking for books, there's this great new website called bookshop.org. And it's awesome. It's just as easy as buying from Amazon. Once you're logged in and you have your local bookstore chosen, it's really easy. And the great thing is you're helping your local bookstore, and they could really use it right now. So if you're looking for books, that's a great way to buy books right now. It's bookshop.org. Another thing, people have asked me about getting signed books from me. So I just wanted to mention the best way to do that is my friends at G. Willikers in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You can give them a call. They have a bunch of my books signed right now. If you want something personalized, we're doing little private signings every couple weeks where Jody from G. Willikers comes up to my house and she has all her orders. And I think I put a picture on here of what my signing looks like. I put a mask and gloves on. We're very safe about it. We're out of my front lawn. It's just a good way that they can keep doing business, and people can keep buying books even at a time now where most stores are closed. You can't actually walk in and look around, but just a way that we can keep doing this stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. I'll get back to my main shot here. Let's see. I think we've got some questions. What has been your favorite thing to draw so far during these sessions? Question from Jim. And I should also mention Jim is a friend of mine, and he is a Miami Dolphins fan. And I realized it's his daughter who requested we draw a dolphin. I hope she meant the animal and not like Dan Marino or something. But my favorite thing to draw, the dolphin was pretty fun. That was a good one. I feel like the tiger maybe was my favorite. That was it was cool having the stripes, to get really into those details. That might have been my favorite. But it's definitely been fun drawing animals. It really makes me want to do more animal books. I'm doing a book now about a basketball team, so all the characters are humans again. But sometimes when I'm working on one type of book, it kind of gets me excited to do a different type. So I definitely want to think of some more animal books. Comment from Becky, bookshop.org, great way to buy books. I agree. It's so nice and easy. I think a lot of people buy Amazon because it's just so easy. But this is just as easy, and you're doing something to help all these great independent bookstores that could really use it right now. And I'm going to try to collect some more bookstore t-shirts. I wore my Blue Bunny t-shirt 1 week. That's a great bookstore in Dedham, Massachusetts. I have so many great bookstores that I've visited over the years that I want to make sure I'm trying to support. So I'm going to try to wear a different bookstore t-shirt every week if I can. I've got a couple, but if I can gather a few more, I'm going to try to do that. Do we have any more questions? We have a request from Allison. Oh, from Cecily. Hi. Could you please draw a baby bunny? I did draw my bunnies 1 week. I don't know if you saw that one. They're not babies, but they're little. They're miniature. They're Netherland dwarf bunnies, so they're very, very tiny. But if you go back, I think it's maybe episode 3 or 4. We drew Halo and Toga, who are my two very cute little bunnies. So if you guys want to check that one out, I think you would like that. Maybe I can still do a baby bunny. They're probably even cuter, right? I know my bunnies were very cute when they were babies. It looks like that's probably from Josh, right? Could we do a zebra? That would be fun. Maybe I'll try a zebra. Horses are sort of one of those things that I know most illustrators, it's like horses and cars are the things everyone tries to avoid drawing. But I kind of like drawing horses. They're definitely, they're tricky. And I feel like zebras are similar enough to horses that they're probably challenging too. But I think that would be fun, especially with those stripes. It's nice to have an animal that has a very clear distinguishing characteristic. So even if you mess up your zebra, as long as you've got the stripes, people will know that it's a zebra. Melissa says, love the new haircut. Thank you. Yeah, I got a very extreme haircut yesterday. I was letting it go, but it was starting to get a little unruly. So I had to finally get some clippers, and Sarah gave me a haircut yesterday. All right. If anyone has more questions, just write them in the comments, and I'll check back a little later and try to answer them in the comments. But thank you all for joining me again this week. It's always fun. It's a fun way to start the week. I hope everybody has a good day and a good week, and I will see you next Monday. Thanks a lot.